So today we're going to talk about something really powerful. We're going to move beyond just, setting simple goals or fixing problems. We're going to explore how to create the conditions for real, genuine transformation. We're actually going to build what's called the architecture of creative emergence. It's a fantastic framework for coaching, sure, but really for any deep conversation. Let's dive in. To get us started, I want to pose a question. Think about it. Is a conversation, whether it's with a coach, a teammate, or even just with yourself, is it mainly about solving a problem that already exists? Or could it be about creating a future that we can't even see yet? The difference there, it's subtle, but it is absolutely profound. You can really see the difference when you put them side by side. On the one hand, you've got problem solving. It's all about fixing an issue, it's very goal-oriented, and you're looking for a specific answer. But on the other hand, you have creative emergence. This is about creating brand new possibilities. It's not just goal-oriented, it is transformation-oriented. It's less about finding an answer you already know is out there, and more about discovering a completely new way of seeing the world. Okay, so how do we actually get there? How do we move from just fixing things to creating things? In this first part, we're going to look beyond that simple problem-solving mindset and really explore how we can intentionally set the stage for these new possibilities to show up. We're building the very foundation for emergence. So what is this emergence thing anyway? Let's get a clear definition. It's the process of shifting from your starting point, the from what, to a totally new orientation, the to what. This process literally allows new possibilities to pop up that exist completely outside of your normal everyday patterns. It's not about just rearranging the furniture in the room, it's about discovering a whole new room you didn't even know was there. So, how do we start building this structure that allows for emergence? Well, like any good building, you have to start with the foundation. And in coaching, that foundation is built with clear, conscious contracts. And trust me, this is about so much more than just a piece of paper you sign. The contract is the absolute bedrock. Its number one job is to take every single assumption that people might have and make it crystal clear. It moves everything out of the shadows and into the light. This creates a psychologically safe container, a space where both the coach and the client can show up and do their best work without any of that fuzzy ambiguity. And a really strong contract goes way beyond just payment terms. It clearly defines the real purpose of the work. It lays out the roles and responsibilities for everyone involved, the client, the coach, maybe even a sponsor. It gets super clear on confidentiality, the scope of the work, and this one is huge, how you're both going to know what success actually looks like. Now, let's take this a little deeper because this is really cool. There's a perspective from the science of creative intelligence that suggests when you have this kind of clarity in your agreements, something amazing happens. The energy between the coach and client becomes this transparent channel for spontaneous intelligence to flow. In other words, the very practical act of getting clear on the details creates the space for the profound to happen. Okay, so if the contract is our solid foundation, the next layer we need is the framework. This is what gives the whole relationship its shape and its structure. And this framework is built from core coaching skills and professional competencies. Think of things like the ICF core competencies as the essential toolkit for the coach. They make sure the relationship is a real partnership, one that's based on respect and co-creation. These skills are what shift the coach away from just giving advice or directive help and towards skillfully helping the client find their own answers. And we can really think about the mindset these skills create as resting on four key pillars. Number one is autonomy. The client is always in the driver's seat. Two is respect. You're honoring the client as a whole creative person. Three is co-creation. You're in it together. It's a true partnership. And finally, four is mastery. The coach skillfully and artfully uses their craft to serve the client. And just like we saw with the contract, when these skills are really embodied by the coach, when they're truly present, they stop being some rigid checklist. They become this natural, effortless expression of a deeper creative intelligence that's just flowing through the conversation. The structure actually creates freedom. So, we've got our foundation, the contract. We've got our framework, the skills. But what about the feeling inside that structure? What's the quality of the space? Well, that brings us to the atmosphere, which is created by deep, intentional listening. This is such a critical distinction. A lot of times, we think listening is just about hearing the words someone is saying, the content of their problem. But true transformative listening goes so much deeper than that. It's about sensing the energy, the unspoken stuff, and the potential that is just waiting to emerge from the space between the words. You can think of it in 3 levels. Level 1 is just hearing the content. What's the issue they're talking about? Level 2 goes deeper. You're feeling the person. Who is this human being that's dealing with this issue? But level 3, well, that's the most profound. That's sensing emergence. Here you're listening for what new possibility is trying to be born, right here, right now, in this conversation. And at this deepest level of listening, the entire focus shifts. The coach isn't just a problem solver anymore. They become a witness to the client's wholeness. They see the vast potential of the person, not just the temporary problem they happen to be facing. All right, we've built our structure. We have a solid foundation, a skillful framework, and a generative atmosphere. Now, let's bring it all together and look at the pinnacle of our architecture, actually achieving creative emergence. So let's put it all together. It's pretty simple when you see it like this. The clear contract creates that safe foundation. The core competencies provide the skillful framework, and that deep listening cultivates the open atmosphere. Every single piece is essential, and they all work together to create something bigger. And when these 3 things, the foundation, the framework, and the atmosphere, when they all align and they're all present in the conversation, that's when the conditions are perfect. That is where the magic happens. The conversation shifts from just fixing something that's broken to creating something entirely new. The result is this natural movement, this shift from feeling limited to a new feeling of liberation. And it's not forced, it's orchestrated by the process itself. As our source material puts it so beautifully, this is when life expresses its fullness. What an incredibly powerful outcome. So if you only take one thing away from our entire explainer today, let it be this fundamental shift in perspective. You move away from the mindset of, what's the problem here that needs fixing? And you step into this expansive discovery of, wow, what is truly possible here that I haven't even thought of yet? And that leaves us with one final question for you to really think about. Considering the contract, the skills, and the listening, how can you start to intentionally build a space for emergence, not just in professional coaching, but in all of your important conversations?